today's Amanita series, we're going to be discussing a smaller member of section vaginata, a grisette, which is a gray member of section vaginata. And I suspect this to be a member since I found it here before. But as section vaginata, we notice the striate margin on the cap. These actually go quite in towards the center, maybe about 50 to 60% of the way in. We see the gray coloration on the cap, hence the grisette. And we also note that it is ex-annulate. It doesn't have a skirt. Well, figuring out what this girl is, we always want to dig her up. And I feel some rocks under here. I don't know how deep she is. We'll try to do our best in popping her out without losing too much of the material. So here we see we have the vulva on the bottom, and we can see on the top that there is no skirt. Something we always want to note is the short gills on Amanita. So we'll flip her over and see what we can see here. Some of these short gills we can see on this top edge over here, mildly truncate, which is flat. We can see more semi-longer ones here, and we can definitely see, let's get this grass out of the way. We can definitely see right here, this one, truncate. Cut off square, mildly toothed, and ex-annulate. So as with some members of section vaginata, we always want to look at the design of the skirt, see if there's any color tones to it. This one doesn't have much, very dusty. Very dusty. We can see it more prevalent up here towards the apex of the stipe. But what we want to focus on this one, you can see the size. She's not very big in comparison to my hands. And we have this vulva on the bottom, which doesn't change any colors, so that rules out a lot of members that turn gray or turn red or orange. Something that we want to do with this, as my suspect, is look for a Limbus Internis, which is a layer of material inside the vulva. It's almost like a strip of Velcro tape, maybe about halfway up on the vulva. So it'll stick to the stem here, even though it goes all the way to the bottom. On the inside, there'll be this layer of tape, if I can call it that, the Limbus Internis, and then the vulva will continue above that. So let me see if I can lay this down to see what we're going to do. So what we want to do with this is take a cross section where we are cutting it in half to see the innards of the mushroom. This way we can see it has a hollow stem. Let me grab this camera and see if we can tweak this. So we do have hollow stem on the inside, but now we can see the vulva here at the bottom. Let me get my knife point into the camera. So we see the vulva rises up the stipe here, and it continues down here, but right around here, there's a layer where it's stuck to the stem. Now, the vulva continues down, encompassing the base of the stem, but it has this one little strip here, which we call the Limbus Internis. Let me see if I can fold it out a little bit. And it's hard to do this with one hand. Alright, chin rest, we'll see if we can do it. So as we peel the vulva away, we can note right here there's a connection, not quite all the way at the base of the vulva. It's about halfway up the vulva. I'll see if I can peel the whole thing away. So a closer look here, and this is a prime example, is you see that gray line? That was up on the stem. If I could fold it in a little more. But that gray line in itself is what we call the Limbus Internis. It's about halfway up the vulva from the bottom to the stem. I hope you can see it well on this. I can see it in the camera. It's just like a little layer of tape that connects to the vulva, like Velcro almost. So this is a characteristic of Amanita longicuneus, which is one of our smaller northeast grisettes, characterized by this Limbus Internis as a character. It's this layer of material halfway up the vulva that connects to the stem. It's kind of open below it, it's kind of open above it, but it has this layer sticking it to the stem as a good characteristic for this grisette, Amanita longicuneus. And that's about it for our today's Amanita series. I hope you enjoyed.